Okay, checking in again with you guys. I'm going to do a little Q&A tonight. So instead of me just kind of flowing about anything and everything in so many different perspectives and lenses, we're going to ask some questions, see what people want to ask, and then go ahead and reply and give some different perspectives on those questions in itself. So people are coming on in. Wait for people to get settled. What's going on, everybody? How was everybody's day? First of all, rest in paradise, of course. Nikola Tesla, if you guys do not know, I'm a big fan of his work. I'm a big fan of what he stood for and the creativity and the designs and the inventions that he made. And today is the day that he passed, on January 7th, which again in the Orthodox calendar, the Julian calendar, is Merry Christmas. Christmas today as well, so to speak. And passed away in 1943. And then 43 obviously are my angel numbers, my guide numbers. So much respect to Nikola Tesla. If you do not know who that is, no, it's not the car company. It's not the electric cars and Elon Musk. It's a man who discovered free energy. He discovered different modalities, the reason why we have what we have today with electronics, Wi-Fi, satellite. A lot of it comes from his work. A lot of us, just kind of off the topic, we learned about Thomas Edison, who in fact maybe wasn't the brightest tool in the shed and had different intentions such as greed and power. And Nikola Tesla just wanted to help humanity. He realized how to harness everything around us to then transmute and create it for free energy for all. So that's why you're seeing all this confusion with this energy and, coal and gas and oil and hydrogen and electricity, so to speak. So wanted to just kind of open it up. If anybody has some questions, any questions so far? Let's see. Yeah, some of you were looking up Tesla today. Really powerful, really, really powerful. And what I was talking about yesterday on my live, which seemed 24 hours from now was such a long time it feels, but so fast, was really diving into what is going to be happening going forward and looking forward. Again, I talked about different timelines because there's different realities being played out. The very person next to you on the bus might see something different than you do, right? That same whole premise in itself. So being aware that maybe people you're talking to or people you're sharing just won't see what you see, it's okay. That is, trust me, it's okay. And it's not that they're wrong or you're right or they're right. It's just different realities. Just like, if you're here in the United States and there's a United States based business or a restaurant and you go over to, let's say, Japan and you don't see it over there, well, it's not like our restaurant is bad or wrong or worse or good. They just don't know it exists. So some people just don't know it exists, and that's okay. And that's the whole term of cognitive dissonance and discernment and different topics of such. So yeah, what kind of questions you guys got? I see what, can you explain discernment and use some examples? So great question. So discernment is basically plain and simple. This is a term that I had no idea I didn't even know how to spell it, so to speak. And a term that basically you look at things from your perspective. You look at a bunch of different things, and then discernment is basically your own filter. A filter of what maybe rings to be true. If something triggers you, why would it trigger you? If something is interesting, what is it that's appealing? If something that feels truth-wise, like sleep on it, resonate with it. Not just, what this person said is true. What this media outlet said is true. What the president said is true, or what my mom and dad said was true, and just take that as your truth. And that's what a lot of people perhaps might be going through right now. And that discernment lens is having that your own filter, having that lens to decide what is true, what is not, and then come into your core belief and core conclusion. Because at the end of the day, I can't make choices for you. I can't tell you what's going to happen, and I can't tell you what has happened because you're going to see things completely different. I had a great call today with a few friends on a podcast, and we had this great analogy. If you got a bouquet of flowers and you put it on a table and you had 10 people sit around the table, right? Every person might look at that bouquet differently. What do I mean by that? Well, one person might not even see the bouquet because they're blind. One person might not see the colors of the bouquet because they're colorblind. One person might look at the bouquet of flowers in a sad way because maybe someone just died and they were just at a funeral. Another person might look at that bouquet of flowers as a beautiful thing because they just got married. Another person might look at that bouquet of flowers and want to run because they're allergic to pollen. Another person might look at that bouquet and look at how they can paint it because they're an artist. So here we are kind of all projecting on this bouquet of flowers and saying why the bouquet is a liar, why the bouquet is a fraud, and it's allergies and all these things. Well, we happen to then detach from the message of what this bouquet of flowers is trying to express, and we look at the messenger, the flower itself. Does that make sense? Hopefully that connects a dot there. But discernment is the ability to decipher what could be real in your reality or not based on your own inner filter and your own way of understanding. Yeah, meditation, exactly. Meditation, another great way to do so. Journaling, taking time for yourself, and different things like that. So let's see, what else? Watch the fall of the cabal. Yeah, that definitely is a huge thing. So many timelines playing out. Absolutely. Where is Q? Where is Q? Great question, right? Where is Q? What is Q? What does Q mean? How do you spell it? What is it? A system? Is it a person? Not here to say I don't know or do know. For me, Q is a quantum lens. Q is a quantum ability to navigate through different states of awareness, through identifying different states of consciousness, to literally be able to maybe jump on different timelines and see someone on a certain timeline where their whole life they've been told what to do. How do I know that? Because I was deep in it. I was deep in that program timeline of what CNN said, 100%. What Oprah was talking about, gosh, love her. But then over time, what I started to learn was different truths. And it made sense because not just one time I heard it, many other times outside of the normal narrative. Right? So everyone's jumping on different timelines. So Q to me, the term, right? It's not a far right movement that's been labeled in my lens. But if you turn the TV on, you'll see that. You see how there's the difference, right? In my lens, it's not. In another lens, it is. So that's where you come to your own conclusions, you guys. And if you're watching this, you're probably going through some kind of shift right now. And you're probably all over the place. Maybe you're information overload. And come to those conclusions by really starting looking at the bigger picture and looking at different things. And make choices to do so. Make choices to do so instead of the feeling like you have to, right? Instead of the feeling that you have to. So great question on that. He was busy taking care of business. Yeah, quantum entanglement. I mean, we're going to a quantum world. I mean, you have the quantum financial system, quantum voting system, which will be blockchain technology. Here's the thing, the scenarios that are being played out that millions are seeing on the news, on TV, about the president and all that stuff. I'll say it over and over and over and over again. It's just a show. You can't get caught up in it. And I'll be honest, I have gotten caught up in it. And I have to realize, hold on, pull back out, stay in your present moment, current reality, and you're watching these things play out. Because I could sit here for hours and name all of these other things that are happening outside of that show, outside of that whole, the thing that happened yesterday at the Capitol, things worldwide that have been happening, things domestically that are happening, arrests that have been happening. And some of you are saying, well, prove it. There's no way in chance I can prove it to every single person because that's not my job. That's not what I'm here to do. And that's not ever what I'm here to do. In fact, no one's job is to do that. It's for you to come to your own conclusion yourself as you become more expansive in your thinking outside of that left brain box, so to speak. Do you think the Nassar and Nassar is already being implemented? Yes, 100%. I believe that there is a reset, so to speak. Obviously, your one timeline is, the great reset of this. On the other timeline, it's a complete reset of the system because zoom back out, the dollar pretty much is becoming irrelevant. If you guys haven't noticed, the dollar today is like worth 19% or less of what it was when we took it off the gold standard back in 1971. So ever since then, however many years that's been, the dollar is devalued. So it's not sustainable. So we're running on fake money, fake paper money with no tangible value, no backed currency. And now other countries have rejected this dollar for many, many years. That's why the Fed kept printing it to create a false illusion, which then was used to put countries and nations in debt, which then the central banks could take over. And if they didn't comply with those orders, you have war that break out. You have tyranny that breaks out. You have governmental rule that breaks out. You have broken societies, communism, socialism, all of these parties and all of these things that are not sustainable. And yet here, that narrative is being pushed upon the American people through mainstream media. So you see how there's the psychological warfare as if it's happening here. Is it? Is it not? In my lens, it's not. Could it? Yes, if we went another route many, many years ago, but we changed timelines a while ago, in fact. But to some, we still are. You see how there's different timelines. So I'm not going to say you're never, because I don't like to use that word magic. It is very challenging to meet every single person and give them exactly what they want to hear, because you'll never be able to. That's the biggest lesson that I've learned over the years is one person might get it, the other person might think you're crazy. And that's okay. And that's totally fine. And you just stay in your heart and you stay in your space. And next thing you know, you'd be surprised what happens. What's another question we got? Yeah, fake paper money. Exactly. It's all a show. The Mandela effect. So the Mandela effect is kind of like the Bernstein Bears, right? You have Curious George. Did Curious George have a tail, or did he have a tail, or did he not? Remember the monkey and the character? You see, some people saw the tail, some people didn't see the tail. Some people saw Bernstein, some people saw Bernstein. Things change. The Mandela effect is the psychological change of our awareness and what we see to believe to be true, and just a little switch over time, we don't even pay attention. We don't even pay attention to the difference. If you guys saw what I posted about the whole note that the Pelosi character, the character Nancy Pelosi played out, she dated it January 5th, 2020. We're in 2021. So you make that conclusion and just realize how there's different mind warps and different confusing things going on. Let's see. A lot of crypto questions. You guys are funny. Nothing wrong with that. Crypto's interesting, obviously. At first, mark of the beast. First of all, if you have a cell phone, like even what I'm right now, we've been getting tracked for decades. There's nothing new. That's one of the marks in itself. There's just mark of the beast can mean so many things. So that in itself is a wormhole. I would definitely say going to where we are, there's a bridge aspect. So we're decentralizing these banks. We're taking back the Federal Reserve. And you can really do some digging and look this up. It happened back in March. The president did so. And we go over to a quantum system, which is now protected. So basically for me to send money to you, it goes through a bunch of pit stops. Those pit stops then charge a fee, cross-border fee, a transaction. So if I wanted to send you $1 million in Europe, it'd probably cost me $500. Question is, where does that money go? Who takes it? Who's in charge of it? Is it legal? Is it lawful? Is it under contract? Or is it outside of the now context, so to speak, which is Russell J. Gould when he talks about, and there are they committing fraud? There's fraud being played out every single place right now, right? So that in itself we know, but the movie's playing out to expose this fraud as well. I choose to invest in XRP and XLM for the reason that it will become the new transversion of the currency we're using that's not a dollar. Some people go, well, crypto is this, blah, 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 this. Do you guys use a debit card or a credit card? When was the last time you paid for something with a dollar bill or pennies or nickels or $5 or a $2 bill or a $20 bill? Most people I know and talk to, they don't even carry dollars anymore because it's worthless. So we're already using our cards, right? We're already using our credit and debit cards. And the only difference is it's still called dollars, not XRP. So I can simply get this card and go buy something, but XRP is going to be more of a bigger scale transactions. You're seeing other coins perhaps be more of a retail, buy some coffee and do all those things. So I use Coinbase for those asking, no secret, whatever. Do what you want, do your research. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just sharing what I've done because of the reason why. Because for me, having that investment grow, I can then use, and my plan is to then create long-term, for those watching, I'm excited to share this and I want to speak it out into existence, creating academies for children that have, one, been neglected or abused or trafficked, abandoned and mistreated, and creating Light 'em Up academies named after my father. My father was a big proponent of helping kids and helping athletes and youth, not only with sports, but off the court. And so I want to create these facilities and these academies for children outside of the typical mainstream, schooling system, the healthcare system, giving them healing, give them love, just help them reestablish self-identity, subconscious programming, because there's hundreds and thousands and probably millions of kids that have been abused, trafficked, neglected, ignored, and it's all about the children. The children are what unite all of us. And it's powerful when you have this vision and now you see the reasons, because easily people can be buying XRP to then go buy a new car, right? Easily they could be getting XRP to go invest in a new home. Those are great, me is how quick can I build these academies for all these children that are being rescued? That's just the timeline I live on, and I support our rescue. I'm excited. I hope to collaborate with them in the future. Operation Underground Railroad with Tim Ballard. Really powerful stuff. So that's why I'm really excited to do, and definitely why I build the business I build with the water I share, build the following that I shared to empower you guys to do the same. We're just taking our power back. We're taking our power back from the systems. Do I do NLP? Great question. It's funny, I never learned it. I never took a course on it. I listened to a 30-minute audiobook about it, and I guess I just discovered how to implement it naturally by diving into my own subconscious. I'm a big proponent of when you go within, not only to the body, but to the mind, and that's why we always talk about don't mind me, mind your own business. We say mind all the time. Never mind. We're literally just telling our mind to be nothing. Never mind. Well, it's a great tool. We're always constantly playing word magic on ourselves. So I never do NLP. I guess I just live it. I don't know. It's a good question though. Yeah. How again are the heart and earth connected? So love it. How are the heart and earth connected? Well, the earth in itself resonates at a certain frequency, right? It has 7.83 hertz frequency, so to speak. And it varies and it fluctuates, and that's the Schumann resonance. So sometimes the Schumann resonance, people think it's, it just happens. We actually help create it. We're in one in unison. Our heart is the strongest electromagnetic, pretty much, I don't even know what to call it, organ, consciousness, being. It guides us. It's where God is centered in, and it guides us, and it has that connection with the world and Mother Earth. Now, the beautiful part of it is our body and our blood and our systems regulate at about a 7.4 pH, right? Just not to get too specific. Isn't it interesting how 7.4 is very close to 7.83? It's like right there in that range. And so you're now having the micro, the macro, the inner, the outer world. Our blood, for example, right? Our blood's 95% water. Well, most of this planet is over 70% water, just like the water in our body. The same minerals, the trace minerals, the essential minerals in our blood are found in the oceans. You have the lungs of our breath, or the lungs of or the trees of our lungs, the way we bring in oxygen and we exhale waste. It's the same trees outside, and it looks the same. It's like the tree of life. You have the nervous system. You guys ever look up the nervous system, flip it upside down? It's like a tree. It's the tree of life. Your nervous system is where you house your memories, traumas, and emotions. So right now, take a deep breath. That one breath puts you in that parasympathetic nervous system state. And right now, everybody's in the sympathetic. Everyone's going and going and going. They're overstimulated, coffee, scrolling, media. I get caught up in it. And I got to remind myself to slow down, to get some water, go outside, take a deep breath, just slow down, because you can definitely get lost in that parasympathetic nervous state. Yeah. Let's see. What's another question you guys got? So I don't know if you guys saw some of the stuff that I shared earlier today about the things coming out of Italy. Just a side note, everything going on with what happened yesterday, again, was part of the whole movie. I'll say it over and over, and I'm going to keep saying it because it's what reality is. It is a movie. I'm not just saying it's a TV movie screen on Hollywood, which is probably going to be no longer existent, or completely gutted and transmuted, and most likely giving power back to independent distributors and independent producers and directors who have a good heart and not in some, club and whatnot. Not to go down that wormhole right now, but I think going forward, what's going to happen is you're going to see a series of events play out. You're going to see a series of events of potentially an internet blackout. Just to let you know, we're safe, we're protected. There's millions of people that are kind of on the edge of what's about to happen. We're in the crunch time. We're pretty much in the home stretch of this movie as the final actors play their final show. And as you can see, after this movie is over, all these things that have been happening in the background are going to go bam, 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 bam. They're going to go fast, and they're ready to go. And there's plenty of evidence out there. Again, I'm not going to send it every single bit of info. It would take me decades to send each and every one of you and upload every single thing. A lot of this info is here. It's here. It's here. And it comes naturally based on all the things I've connected. Not just what I saw on Channel 14, what I saw from that news reporter. Those are great. Take it with a grain of salt, but at the same time, you have all the answers within you right now. And sometimes we just got to dig through those inner knowings and inner truths as well. Is it going to happen before January 20th? Yeah, I definitely do believe just in the next 2 weeks. And if you pay attention to the words, again, so many of you might think that I'm like a Trump fan. I didn't even vote. I've never voted. I don't even vote. I wouldn't even vote for anybody. I don't care about that. I'm just seeing the character on a movie screen. It's like, are you a fan of Chris Pratt? Are you a Chris Pratt fan? No, but I think it's the Jurassic World movie was cool. All right, a bad example in case he's involved in anything. But you guys get what I'm saying with the whole character aspect? I mean, so many people, what happens when they don't know the whole story, when they don't know the whole perspective, when they don't kind of know where you're coming from, they'll just create a story. Right now, we're creating stories about each other, and that's what's causing separation. Oh my gosh, he posted about Trump. He's a Trump fan. He's definitely a QAnon supporter. He's far-right extremist. Story, story, story. No one even knows my name. Y'all don't even know my birthday. You don't even know my favorite color. You don't even know what my diet. How are you supposed to know exactly who I am and what I do? How are you supposed to know exactly what I support and what I believe in? Because I hit reshare? Because I hit post? If that's the case, that's, again, take it back to you. Ask yourself, am I oversympathetic? Am I dehydrated? Have I not, maybe taken care of myself lately? Am I just spazzing out on stress? Am I overstimulated? Am I addicted to dopamine? Are my serotonin levels off? Who asks themselves that these days? I had to ask myself. I started to ask myself, and it started to make sense, right? So it is, about freedom. I'm not on Parler. For those asking, I'm not on Parler. I choose to stay here because for me, and what I guess the messages I receive and the things that I want to share is to, I just say, hold the frequency, hold the line. Because I could jump ship, but all of you here that are kind of going, what's going on? I'm here to help you. There's enough. Parler is just, it's all freedom. It's all, no censorship. It's all truthers. So I just okay. Everyone's saying the same thing over there, right? Wake up, look what's going on. This here on Instagram, everyone's jumping ship because of the guidelines, the restrictions, the procedures. Again, hold the frequency. I'm holding the line with you guys. I'm not going anywhere until they kick me off or Instagram crashes, but I don't see that happening because it's such a massive platform. I think we'll have a big purging of accounts and a lot of graphic material because these social media platforms, their intention maybe at the beginning was not to connect me and you, it was to control me and you. It was to separate me and you, to group us, to observe us, to watch us, to hear our voice. That's why when you say something, an ad comes up. It was never meant to go, hey, connect with the person in South America because you guys are best friends and we love you to death. Love Mark Zuckerberg. Nope. So it's up to us to transmute it, right? It's up to us to take that power back. So when I'm talking about like blackouts, some of you guys are asking, not to like the whole world, like the lights go off, like just maybe the internet starts glitching. If you guys, there's a website, I'm blanking on it. You can actually start checking I don't even know the word for it. It's kind of like a little chart, a little graph that shows every big network, every big cable provider, and it shows the efficiency of like service. Well, the last couple of days, it's been in the red. And recently, the emergency broadcast system has been tested and has been getting improved. And so what you're going to see, and here's my prediction again going forward, obviously things happening in Italy, which is on the other side of the world, that are going to be creeping into our reality very slowly, is what I'm predicting. We're going to have some sort of potential blackout or some time to shut down where you're already seeing the removal of certain figures in their Twitter, their social media, because big tech, again, is very backed heavily by CCP and so to speak. So you're going to see this blackout occur, and then remember, all of these quote unquote people that have done bad things, where are they right now? They're all in DC. They're all there. And yet you haven't seen really Barack Obama in a while, Hillary Clinton, all these other people. Where are they? Where are they? Might be tweeting, but you haven't seen them in a long time. And the people that you're seeing probably aren't even them. That's again, a wormhole in itself. So I think with these things that will transpire and occur are going to be taking place slowly based on what I've seen. And you're going to start seeing these, how do I word it? Perhaps arrests, maybe outbreak, and different things of such. Not to go too deep into it because I want to stay on topic with some questions here with you guys. And then zoom out what's happening in the stars with the astrology and Saturn and Jupiter. It's all a reflection of what's happening down here, right? So I always say it's written in the stars, which the stars are in your blood. It's written in your DNA. You're living out your DNA right now. Isn't that wild? concepts, quantum physics, quantum entanglement, pretty wild stuff. So that's what I feel we're going. Oh, and Saturday, for those watching this right now, Saturday morning, I'm really excited. I'm going to do a live with Joaquin Flores. He's been absolutely amazing. Just last few weeks, been following his information. He speaks very fluid, very simple. He has tons of experience. He comes from a kind of an in-between place of not subscribing to any person, any channel, any movement, any party, just like me. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a extremist. Some of you, QAnon. Guys, all that is just somebody that's looking to speak their truth, looking at what could be wrong, looking at corruption and hoping for the best. Here's the thing: when people say, oh, well, all that's fake, you know what my answer is? Well, great. Then the world's perfect. There is no sex trafficking. There is no corruption. Hollywood is beautiful. And there's no presidents that are fake. And the Federal Reserve wants to give you money. And everything is happy and unicorns are going around. But you guys know that question and you know that answer. Is that happening? So I would love that. All that I've shared to be fake. Cool. All right, move on. Let it go. But it's not, because you're seeing it being played out, right? Because none of those things, so child trafficking, is it real? Great. All right, phew. I'm glad it was just an idea. No. That's why it's hard to grasp the concept. Right? QAnon is a conspiracy. These conspiracy theories. When are we going to we really have an attachment to that C word. There's many C words. You have the CANCER word. You have the COVID word. You have the CONSPIRAC word. Maybe you have the CHRAS word. I don't know. Or the come out better word. But something about that C word really seems to be creeping up more and more and more. So those that say, it's fake, it's not real, this is all just a mental illusion, my answer, cool. Then none of this is real. Great. Let's go back to our everyday. And then, like I said, there's no bad things happening. But this watching this and watching the replay, your gut is going, Your heart is going, dum, 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 The mind is going, wait a minute, and that's the feeling. So what happens is a lot of people perhaps are disconnected from that feeling, right? And now their emotions control them. Their emotions control the ocean within their body, because in your body has all the oceans, the minerals, the salts, the life force, and so to speak. All right, so just becoming aware and doing those different things is going to help you guys so much. What else? What's another question? Yeah, so Saturday morning, I'm not sure what time. We got to come up with a time. You guys will know, and we'll go deep. It'll probably be an hour long, and we're going to cover everything. Okay, it's happening in Ontario. Major cable outage yesterday. So they're testing the systems, right? They're testing the systems. Everything's, again, you're going to be safe. You are protected. I think here's another thing. Ask yourself this. Do you truly feel there are more bad people in this world than good? That's what I said, because people look at, the reason why the bad people have gotten away with what they did is because all the good people, one, couldn't do anything about it yet, because mainstream media, your TV screens and your phones can become people, Agent Smiths. So you have a very small 1% of this world, less than 1% of this world controlling the shots. Believe what you want, I don't care. And they use it, and instead of relying on 1%, they can't do it. They don't even leave their home probably. They sit behind the screen. Who knows what they do, right? All their nasty stuff. So how are they able to infiltrate 99% of us? Phones, TV, celebrities, audio, television, movies, songs, frequency, chemtrails. You see how it's not people that are infiltrating you, it's energy. It's mind control, it's manipulation. All right, so if you have a small 1% that are controlling the shots, you guys ever seen Wizard of Oz? If you guys ever seen Wizard of Oz, what happens at the end? Dorothy, the lion, the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, where do they go? They go and they find Oz. What do? They see him talking on this big screen, right? The Oz guy. He's talking on a big screen. That's your phone. That's your iPhone. That's your TV. That's your cell phone. That's your movies. That's your everything I just mentioned. And then all they do is they move the curtain and they look behind, and it's just this little guy. This little guy standing on a stool yelling in a megaphone. And yet he controls the whole world. Okay? So now all of a sudden you just caught the little guy, right? And it's not him that's attacking, it's the psychological mindset, so to speak. So the Wizard of Oz is a great explanation. So now what's happened is when 4 years ago there was a change in power, well, things started to change. And those that are good, I'm not just saying the president, let go of that. God, so many people are attached to this name, this person, Orange Man, whatever you want to call it. The people that are good just realize we just pulled the curtain back. The veil is removed now. And this 1%, this small population that are the highest up in the government, highest up in the banking, highest up in Hollywood, highest up in international trade, highest up in NATO, all are now getting exposed, and they've been caught. And they've been caught for years and years and years. Right? So that's happening. Pause. Ask that person next to you. Maybe they're drinking fluoride water, they're having GMOs, they're alcohol, tobacco, cigarettes, no sleep, stress and anxiety, have no money. Whatever it is they're going through, you tell them that, they think you're crazy. Wizard of Oz, that's just a movie, man. That's the difference in perspectives and realities, right? So that's what you're seeing being played out. You're seeing these different things come up to the surface. We're pulling back the curtain. And again, I ask you, seriously, and you could ask anybody, do you honestly think there's more bad people in this world than good? Or do you think there's more bad energy than good? And you guys know this to be true. No. The only reason it has been is because no one's pulled the curtain back yet. And that curtain got pulled back a couple of years ago when the powers changed, right? And at the end of the day, here's another thing. Again, when people tell me and ask me, do you look at both sides of the picture? Okay, here, let me play this card for you. Trump is bad. Trump is evil. He's backstabbing. He's betraying us. He's not one of us. This is all a trick to confuse us, and now we're all going to go to FEMA camp, right? That you hear that. Well, to me, that is the most far-fetched, that right there, like, I can't even sit with that, because how and whatsoever does that make sense? And here's why. My next question is, who controls the military? Okay, the president. So you're telling me the thousands of servicemen, which I know a lot of them, and I have friends, I mean, you probably know them too. They're here to serve you. They're here to protect you. That's what they signed an oath to do. Now, pause. There are bad eggs, but those bad eggs aren't there out in the field being sent off to Iraq. They're sitting behind a desk calling the shots while they're soaking up and probably doing nasty stuff. They're infiltrating the nasty 3-letter agencies that have nothing to do with protecting me and you. The CIA, the Chinese Intelligence Agency, the FBI, the Federal Bureaucracy of Blackmailing Institute. 3-letter, guys, think about that. CIA, FBI, 3-letter words control our life. I don't know what they're about, so I can't say so much about it, but I do know that there are too many good people in this world, too many good people that stand for truth, that stand for freedom, that are tired of sitting back and watching our government go to shambles, which is pretty much the case anyways. They're tired of these tax brackets, these fake wars. It's just tired of it all. And you're seeing them speak out now, and you're seeing more and more speak out now. So collectively, yes, I'm not saying there's a savior. We're here to take back power ourselves. That's the transition of power. Do you guys remember? It's not a president to a president. It's a president to the people. The people, the collective, that's the quantum world we're going to. The presidency, the Congress, those are all fake, broken systems. That's the game. That's the illusion we've woken up to. Where was this 5,000 years ago? It didn't exist. Hundreds of years ago, probably way different. You've seen it evolve because we've gone through these different cycles in the galaxy, in the solar system, like Kali Yuga and all those different things. So again, if you guys are jumping on here like, what does this mean? It's going over my head. It's all good. It's all good. Here's the thing too. I talk about waves of awakening, waves of cognitive dissonance, waves. Sacred geometry doesn't mess around in terms of like just divine energy, divine flows, ebbs and flows, waves of awakening. If it happened all at once, we wouldn't be ready for it, right? If you went out and never surfed and you jumped on a 20-foot wave, probably if you threw 1,000 people out there who've never surfed, they're going to get pummeled. But if you get a couple of them just go in the kid pool and start riding a little wave, and get the hang of it. Oh, wow, that's interesting. That's new. So these waves happen not all at once, and you're seeing different waves happen every single day, right? What's another question? What's another question for you guys? What's another question? Yeah, military has our back. It's the only branch of the government that cannot be controlled by anyone else but the president. And that's where the character comes into play. And I already addressed the other side, but we're not even, there's nowhere close. Because we can't even collectively, consciously come to that conclusion of that being the case, of rogue military, holding, us at gunpoint. Here's another thing, guys. If that were to happen, it would happen a long time ago, and our Second Amendment would have been abolished. Tell that to 83 million gun owners right now to give up. It's not happening. It just can't. There's no such thing, right? It just can't. It just cannot, at least in my lens, right? Yeah, military setting up a barricade at the gate. You guys are, oh my gosh, this will be the best movie of all time. This will win every fake, nasty Oscar that was given to anyone. That's my opinion. This will be, we look back at the Bible, and before you freak out, I'm not comparing this to the Bible, so please let go of that thought, okay? But this is biblical times. This is biblical times, and we just maybe haven't grasped it yet because it's not 10 years later where we're looking back. You guys probably can agree with me with that, right? These are biblical times. So yeah, what's another question? Ask what else? What else do you guys want to flow about? There's so many different topics. I feel a sense of peace. Yeah. What happened in Italy? Okay, beautiful. So, great question. A lot of intel came in, and when I say intel, not some fancy news source, I just have a lot of great friends, a lot of great connections, a lot of great people like you that go out there and are curious about information, that are open-minded, that are not attaching to a story or a timeline or a character or a person. Remember, it's all words. Everything you see is words. The news reporter, what do they read? A teleprompter? What are they reading? They're reading magic. They're reading the words. All right, voting, words. You can see names on a paper. You listening to me, how are you listening? You're listening to my words. You see how words can confuse you, dilute you, separate you, empower you, inspire you? It comes down to the words. That's why at the beginning there was the Word, and that Word was God. And so it is. And ever since, the word has been taken and has been flipped into Babel, which is Babylonian times. 5,000 years ago, our word, our vocabulary was hijacked to make us out of the present moment, to take us out of the now, and to put us in a space where we're vulnerable for different energetic attacks if we're not aware. If you're out of the now space, you're now out of this present and you're into another dimension and into another reality. So then you get attacked and you feel anxiety. You get confused and you feel pain. You get stressed out because you don't feel you're in control because you left the now moment. All you gotta do is take a deep breath. Tap your chest, you're back here. And you're just listening to words. So what happened in Italy, basically to break it down, this operation happened a while ago as far as I'm concerned with things in Frankfurt and different things. The Vatican is behind a lot of this stuff that you're seeing right now. The whole George Soros guy, you guys know the deal with him behind it. And what happened really that I seen, and I listened to audio tapes, I looked at letters, I looked at different journal, a lot of, some of you sent me some amazing, powerful stuff, thank you. And what happened was a man, I forgot his name, he came forward and he gave an affidavit, a declaration that he actually went ahead and did election and changed the election vote. So right now it's kind of trending in Italy. It hasn't made it to the US. The news hasn't got here yet. That's why it's all part of the plan. The Pope stepped down. Yeah, Pope Francis stepped down, if you missed that. And the Vatican was pretty much funneling. What happened was in Italy, there was a voting system or an encryption where you can then hack a satellite, and they call it the Leonardo satellites, which are placed all over Italy, placed all over the world. And that satellite hack can then go in virtually cyber warfare. They don't want to do tanks and guns anymore, you guys. We're in the age of technology. The bullets are nothing. Now it's viruses, quote unquote, not that virus, computer viruses of the mind. You have confusion with in mainstream media, wrong misinformation campaigns, right? So you have this happen where that now has been taken, distorted, and then infiltrated into the voting system. That's why blockchain, maybe it's not perfect, I don't know, I'm still learning about it. Blockchain is a more secure voting way to actually cast votes instead of the mail-in ballots showing up in every county, community. Who knows who's counting, if they had a bad day, if they slipped and dropped a vote. It's not even accurate. It's not even true. There's no chance. It's not that there's voter fraud or voter, cheating. it's trying to build a house with sticks. You can't say the house is a fraud when you can't even put sticks together because it's a broken system, but no one's questioned it. Why? Because no one questions anything up until now. So now we're questioning enough, so the collective is collectively thinking of something, and now this person has stepped in, and now you have these lawyers in Italy, you have this proven information, you have this affidavit, you have this tech that's been hacked. You guys remember the Kraken? The Department of Defense, if you guys did not know, there are 17 U.S. intelligence agencies. Well, maybe that's the Q for you, right? Q is the 17th letter of the alphabet. You got the NSA leading the way, you've got the Homeland Security, you have everything. There are more eyes. Again, the good guys can see everything the bad guys are doing at the same time the bad guys are seeing everything you do. It's kind of like the bad guys are watching you, and then the Phoenix behind me are the good guys watching the bad guys. Isn't it trippy? Hunters become the hunted, right? It's so wild. So what happened in Italy, my guess will make its way here and will be a great third party for the different things that go on, for the darkness, for the whole shutdown, whatever, because you're going to see all kinds of things of, exposing what already is and what already is made. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Do we believe in the future where our bodies can fly and travel and live thousands of years? I don't see why not. Because why do I say that? Because time is man-made. Time is linear. The numbers on your watch, who made those up? Who said the 1 is right there and the 2 is right there? Someone came up with that idea. I don't know. Do you guys know? I don't know who made up that. Our calendars, are they 12 months? Like I talked about the other day, are they 12 months? Are they 28 days? What is that all about? What other questions? A couple more questions and I'm jumping off. I just wanted to mix it up and answer some of your guys' questions. Yeah, English is... The thing is, not many people like English because there's so many different ways to express it. Your, and your. Someone who doesn't know English, they're like, okay, your. But to us, you missed it on your spelling test. Oh, you butchered the error. You're going to get projected on for bad spelling. There or there. What? I and an E? One letter. So it confuses us so much. And I'll probably do another live just on word magic in itself, because that is the spell that's been cast on us. That's what Operation Mockingbird is. If you guys do not know what that is, look it up. It's real proof. For people to go, oh, that's a conspiracy, send them the CIA vaults, send them the FBI files. It's all right there. It's all hidden away from you. You just got to ask. You just got to do a little digging. It doesn't have to be a detective. And that's the whole term QAnon, the anons, they just dig. We just do stuff that journalists should be doing, but they don't. Because usually what I believe to be true is mainstream media and journalism, it's not the first to be accurate and true, it's the first to break the story. You guys ever see that? You ever see the movies where we got to get to the scene first? Not if it's true. We could share whatever we want. We just got to be first to the scene. All right, so that's the breaking news. So as citizen journalists, we are the news now. It's up to us because then you'll bypass it. Someone said, I didn't see the Pope step down. Of course you're not going to see that. But it depends where you look and who you ask. And then use discernment, come to your conclusion, and see why, how, when, what, where. And that's like a good chain of process, so to speak. Words are ideas. Yeah, exactly. This time change mess. Yeah. Ooh, do you believe some people already time travel here from the future to save us? Let me answer that. Guess who that person is? Here's what I think. Guess who that person is? Go look in the mirror. And you're just probably like, oh my gosh. It's you. Your higher self. Weird to grasp. That's the first thing that comes to me. You come from the future to now. How cool is that? Only if you believe that to be true. In my reality, that's what I feel. In the Q world, future proofs past, you have Project Looking Glass. Here's an amazing thing about Project Looking Glass for those that have never heard of it or wondering. It has this ability to identify future timelines in multiple dimensions and realities. It's like, what? Well, remember, it's a micro of the macro. Anything outside of us happens within us. You can tap into different timelines and realities when you choose to. Now, some people do that on plant medicine. Some people do that on astral projection. Some people do that in meditation. What's proof, Chris? Go to the FBI vaults. It's hidden. I posted about it a few weeks ago. It's right there. We live in multi-dimensional universe, vibrating at a different frequency, which allows us to see things differently and go forth. So the future proves past kind of deal, yes. To access this information, you have to have good intention. You've got to be in the heart center. That's why the good guys, the Jedi, use the Force, Luke, right? They can access these supernatural powers. Where do you think Star Wars got their ideas? It's us. We have these abilities. Some of you are like, well, come on. Let's fly. Let's fly. It doesn't happen like that. It depends what flying means to you. Do you think wings flying to the mountain, or do you mean sitting right here and having your body fly to another world internally? You guys fly all the time. You do it in your dreams. That's flying. All right, that's flying. So definitely future-proofs path. Then you have the last president with Barron Trump and Donald Trump, and it's such. You guys look this stuff up. It's so wild. Life is so fun. Life is so fun, and it's hard to see people get so mad. And I feel for them because I was there and I was in that state of frustration and anger. It's part of the deprogramming phase, the hero's journey. But to really embrace life and all of its unknowns, how fun is that? I used to think it was just make it to Friday, have fun on the weekend, party, make it go back to Monday. The mundane society, that's the loop of the mental matrix where in fact, wait a minute, I can travel, I could fly, I could jump timelines and go to another world consciously. Yeah. Why not? Why not? Why not? It is. It absolutely is. Okay, last question, and I gotta get off here. Someone say plant medicine. Follow energy is true for all the plant medicine goods. Choose to be here. Exactly. Love it. Any last question? One more question that I'm jumping off. Will it ever be too late? No, because remember, being too late means you're giving power to time. There's never such thing as too late. If you're 5 minutes late to a meeting, we think that's late. Well, 5 minutes is made up, and that meeting is just a fabrication of your reality. So no such thing as too late. It's just an illusion in time. Yeah, laugh. Meet it with laughter. Meet it with laughter. Meet it with excitement. Meet it with gratitude. Can you talk about consciousness traps? Not sure exactly what you mean. I guess you could say, a trap that we're, confused. Again, traps to me, it's a word. What does the word trap mean? What is a trap? Is it a physical trap, a mental and emotional trap? You see, you start breaking down these words, you start really seeing for what they are, you realize that the trap itself is the word trap itself. It's like, oh, golly, these words. Get the word magic, conscious language, really eye-opening stuff, and it's going to help so much. So, all right, I think I'm done here for tonight. It's been a long day. Stay tuned. You guys have been amazing. Share this video. That was fun. Thanks for the questions. Again, you guys ask more lives, ask and receive. We've been going through a lot, internally ourselves, me and my partner, and doing everything we can to give you guys the best information for you to use discernment, come to your conclusions, come out better, and so it is. All right, guys, thank you guys so much. Have an amazing night. We'll talk to you soon. Much love. Go light someone up today. Well, tomorrow, tonight, wherever you are. Much love. See you guys.